Good morning, everybody. Today, the topic that I'm going to cover is practical nutrition tips for better health. As before, myself and other presenters are giving these tips, which are science backed. For thousands of years, we have certain practices in our food preparation, eating, and various habits that are passed on from generation to generation. But the modern science demands data. How many people did that? What is the result? What is my benefit in terms of real, concrete benefit? For this purpose, we have assembled doctors, nutritionists, scientists, and dietitians to give you those important tips, practices that you can actually use. All these presentations are geared towards making you a better, healthy person. When we say better, healthy person, we actually want you to go after this class, presentation, whatever you call talk, and take at least one thing and try to implement in your life from the day you have taken that information. For example, we will talk about when to eat. This may be a very simple question. Also may sound silly for many people. But when you actually get into the details, this is the most important point for all who wants to improve their health. It is in their hands, without medicines, without hospital visits, without making any upside down changes to your food habits. What you are eating, what way you are eating, however you are preparing the food, it doesn't matter. We are living longer, and therefore we have to take care of our health. And there are a few realities with our health. One, as we age, definitely this molecular machine, like any other machine, functions less efficiently year after year. But if we can take care of it, maintain it with the knowledge from science, from ancient times, and from your own body signals, you can definitely live a healthy, long life. We are not trying to add years to your life, but we are trying to add life to your years. As you can see here, when to eat has the 24 hours of a clock. You have several organs placed there. As we go into the details of this presentation, you will understand why we have placed those organs on the clock. Everybody says lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle. What exactly is lifestyle mean? Lifestyle means here what, when, and how much we eat, sleep, move on a daily basis. I want to dwell in when rather than what today because I have 500 food items, a full list. Me and my team, we have been working on this, all the details, and we have 500 different food items for you to eat as vegetarians. If you are a non-vegetarian, probably you can add another 100. And these food items have given good, healthy life to our ancestors without pharma industry, without hospitals, without surgeries. So 1,000 years back, rishis of India were sure that man can live 100 years happily. So we have a lot of food items. So we'll get into that later. But today, one simple topic, when to eat. Our normal pattern is around the sunset, we all get up. Then we start moving around, have some food, then activity. And by evening, the physical activities stop. Then we try to relax and then sleep at night. This is a general pattern. But you all know that this general pattern is not exactly true for everyone. Let us see our ancestors' lifestyle or pattern. Ancestors, with lot of information, we know also were getting up with sunlight around the sunrise time, and they have to go out, gather food, hunt, and do all those things and start eating. Between the time that they get up and eat food, certainly there is a gap, and later physical activity starts till evening. They definitely have to rest because there was no power, there is no current, there is no electricity. And most often, they never ate later till the morning. But that all has changed now. Then what does it have to do with the health? Yes, it has a lot to do with the health. With the power, food processing, refrigerators, infrastructures, easy to get food, our food habits in the industrial revolution have changed dramatically. Same, our ancestors, before the industrialization and other activities, they had a lot of time at their hand. Whereas today, in our modern life, we have extended our day almost into a good part of night till midnight. The sunrise did not change, but we have extended, and thereby our sleep has become very short. compared to the sleep of our ancestors. This is the most important point to start with. Average person today has much shorter sleep span compared to our ancestors. And this rhythm, either ancestral or modern, based on the sun, is called circadian rhythm. It happens in every one of us. As we go in, I will go down to the details of circadian rhythm happening in your 30 trillion cells. These three scientists, Jeffrey Hall, Michael Doshbach, Michael Young, they have worked, and thousands of other scientists worked on the topic that I am talking. Because they are the leaders in the field, they were awarded the Nobel Prize for this idea that body has circadian rhythm. We have two rhythms, one based on the sun and based on the body's own rhythm. Their Nobel Prize clearly said that human bodies, 30 million cells, have their own clocks. You are not dependent on the clock on the wall. You are not functioning, your body is not functioning based on the clock on the wall. It is functioning based on a tiny molecular clock that every person has in their body. And if you see that clock, how it functions in a big, I said big because when there are 30 trillion clocks going on, just imagine in your house, 1,000 clocks going in your room, what will happen? That's what we are going to find out now. So morning, as soon as we are getting up, opening our eyes, sunlight will go into or any light will go into your eyes, and that stops the production of melatonin, which means the sleep causing molecules will come down. Then body will push corticosteroids. These are the set of molecules. They will push you into action. In the middle of the night, somebody wakes you up because of fear. These molecules will immediately, within few seconds, they will be produced and you will be ready for getting up, running, walking, attacking, doing anything that is needed. That was the lifestyle of our ancestors. At the middle of the night, there is a noise, you will be frightened. So was the case with our ancestors. At that time, it was life and death for them. Maybe some animal came. Those molecular behaviors are still with us. And therefore, you will be at a high alert after the corticosteroids are pumped into your body. And then you take nutrition, food, like we saw in the previous slide. And then muscles start working. And they peak at 16 hours, 4 o'clock. And again, after sunset, melatonin rises, body cools down, and then we go into deep sleep. The first exposure, when you open the eye, the sunlight goes into your head and the brain clock starts ticking. And then that it actually sends several molecules, hormones, and most of them will be going directly to each one of these organs so that their clocks are waken up. They start ticking. Daily rhythms in physiology, metabolism, and behavior depend on this particular plan. Unfortunately, the clocks, the rhythm, the organ coherence is not really stressed much in our daily life, and everything has to do with this. Whether you are at the peak of your performance on a given day, at a given hour, is definitely dependent on this. Not only that, the second most important thing for the body to function is food. So the moment that you see food, smell food, you would have saliva in your mouth. Why is that? You close your lips and look at food. Children definitely can see this easily. Adults may have some control, but saliva flows. That is the proof for what I said earlier, that the look, the smell, and the kind of material. If you see a printer or a laptop, saliva will not go in the mouth. But if you see your favorite food, you can't stop it. And that comes from, those instructions come from brain. And those instructions go beyond the mouth. Those instructions go all the way to your liver, stomach, and various parts of the body. Now let us see how the digestion happens.
The human digestive system, the esophagus, and the stomach. Objectives: to explain the movement of food in the esophagus, to describe the process of digestion in the stomach. The process of digestion begins inside the mouth. The teeth break down the food into smaller particles. It then gets mixed with the saliva in the mouth to form a slurry mass called bolus. As the food is swallowed, the soft palate blocks the upper throat called the pharynx, which prevents the entry of food into the nasal cavity. When the food passes over the epiglottis, which is a flap-like structure which prevents the entry of food into the trachea, it pushes down the epiglottis. The food then enters the food pipe, or esophagus, which connects the pharynx to the stomach and is gently pushed down to the stomach by wave-like muscle contractions and relaxations known as peristalsis. When the food enters the stomach, a J-shaped bag-like structure, mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices that are present in the stomach act on the food to help digest it through chemical action. The mucous membrane protects the inner wall of the stomach from the effects of the acid. The hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria that enter along with the food and also helps in the digestion of proteins. The digestive juices start breaking down the proteins present in the food into simpler forms. Muscular contractions in the stomach churn this food mass to further break it down and mix it with secretions in the stomach to form a thick liquid. This thick liquid is called chyme. The chyme exits the stomach through peristaltic movements and enters the small intestine where most of the digestion occurs. To summarize, the muscles of the esophagus gently push the food down to the stomach by wave-like muscle contractions known as peristalsis. The stomach cells secrete mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices that help digest food through chemical action. Digestive juices break down proteins into simpler forms.
So, this is what is going on when you start eating food. Every step is coordinated by a particular organ and dozens of secretions, dozens and dozens of molecules, and everything has timing. The organs of the digestive system, if we have to broadly mention: mouth, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. Of course, there is brain involved all through. Even if you take 1 spoon of sugar or 1 bite of any of your favorite food, all these organs have to be active. Then only it will be digested properly. It gives you energy. So how long each food item takes for the digestion? 50% of the stomach contents are emptied in 2 to 3 hours. If you eat something now, all these organs are stimulated and the food will be there in your stomach, that J-shaped bag, up to 3 hours. Then it takes emptying it off to 5 hours. Then it goes to small intestine and there it stays for up to 3 hours. Then in the large intestine, it stays for a longer period of time till it is sent out as stool or poop. So if you have taken some food, the organs are stimulated to produce and start working. Then after some time, if you take food again, it has to go over the entire cycle. All the organs will be stimulated again. So each organ has its own rhythm from mouth till anus. Every single organ has a systematic, time-bound, functional role in what you are eating. Just imagine trains on this track or flights on a runway. If trains are moving one after another without break, there will be accidents. Therefore, there are signals. There are time gaps. So is the case with the flights. For our food also, we need the same system. There have to be a gap between what you eat, when you eat, and how you eat. Whether it is a liquid, solid, all those things matter. But today we are focusing only on when to eat. There is a scientist from California, San Diego, Dr. Sachin Panda, has focused on this And he has created an app in which he asked people to record when they eat in the entire day. After collecting the data from thousands, they found out that in weekdays, most people start eating around 7 o'clock. And this goes on beyond the evening and till midnight. And weekdays, the same thing happens, but much delayed. Almost towards noon, 11 o'clock, they may not eat, majority. And this pattern is telling two things, which is against or not in tune with the ancestral time. They are eating for at least 15 to 16 hours. As I said, human body is a factory, a molecular factory, and every factory, every machine, every system needs rest to function optimally. So Sachin Panda, in his lab, he has done a very simple experiment. This experiment is like humans who are eating for 16 hours continuously. Is it good or bad? Our ancestors did not eat. Our body is not made for this. So what he did, he has taken a set of rats. One set was given freedom to eat randomly. The food is given, they are in the cage, they can eat anytime. Another set, the same amount of food, quantity-wise, is given, but they were restricted between 8 and 12 hours. So they have tested the results. The rats which ate randomly became obese. They gained weight. The rats ate in a restricted, limited period of time, 8 to 12 hours, and gave rest to the body's organs, did not gain weight. They are healthy, even though they ate the same food, same quantity. Everything is same, except the time. Those who ate randomly developed obesity, diabetes, high cholesterol, fatty liver, atherosclerosis, inflammation, heart disease, imbalance in hormones, low endurance, poor motor functions, gut diseases, and most seriously, poor sleep. You don't have to see the data. You don't have to understand the science. All you have to think for yourself, imagine if you are eating continuously, can you sleep well? Of course, including myself, we have not paid attention to these things, but please pay attention. Then there is an app, circadian rhythm clock, and this app, you can download it onto your phone and check for yourself. So with this information, Sachin Panda and his team came to know that we are eating continuously. They have thousands of people recording these things. So our biological clocks of all the organs that I have shown are continuously going. If they are in tune systematically, it will be healthy. But if there is no rest for the organs, no time for repair, no plan of when the food comes and when the food doesn't come, these clocks get broken. And thousands of research papers have shown today, beyond doubt, that if you break your rhythm, you will have a disease state. And those diseases are plenty of them. Those which are in red are very seriously affecting you. And I'm very sure anyone who has a lifestyle disease, their disease is here. I do not want to go into the details of the disease, but certainly breaking those cycles or clocks, not following your internal organ clocks, is definitely going to damage your health. How? Take a physical example. I have taken two physical examples. Imagine that it is like an orchestra and symphony. There is a conductor. There are people who play different instruments. And the conductor here for our digestive system is the person, our brain. And these people who are playing the other instruments are our organs. If they follow the conductor's rules or timings, then we'll have a nice symphony like this one. Then there's a gap. Then our activity starts. All the organs are stimulated. And it goes on the day, and it becomes lull in the evening. But I could not find a single symphony that is bad to show. And also, even if I show, it cannot be seen properly with the naked eye. You have to hear. But we know that in New York, the traffic with the traffic lights is very systematic. Whereas in other countries, as you can see here, so there is a circadian rhythm among all our organs, whether you know it through science or not. If you start observing these points, you would know for yourself, your rhythm. And circadian rhythm style will definitely give you better health, and erratic one will give you unhealthy body. But the main question is when to eat again. Number one, do whatever you are doing, but observe and give time to your body, organs, and cells to take rest from digestion processes and repair and get ready for the next day. I told you in the beginning that your 30 trillion cells have their own clocks. Actually, they found every day morning, there is a molecule called period. Its name is somehow named as period. The molecule is made in the morning when we get up in every single cell, and it starts degrading. By the time we are supposed to sleep, it is completely gone. Cells want to sleep at probably 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, depending on their function. But if you don't let them sleep, they will suffer. Their suffering is transformed into disease. There are various points. I can go on and on, but I will stop with this. Eating within a window of 8 to 10 hours is shown beyond doubt with thousands of papers, researchers, presentations. Just Google, you will find a lot more material than what I told you. Mine is only to point you to go in this direction so that without any big hassle, you can improve your health very well. Initially, it may be slightly difficult. This is what is called fasting or intermittent fasting, which many of you may be aware of already. But with this knowledge, the latest modern research from the West, if you add to your Eastern principles, it will do wonderful things for you. Then what to do? Sure, morning, have 30-40 minutes of walk. This walk in sunlight or exposure to sun is important because I told you that your body organ systems will be tuned based on this light. Then have at least between 8 to 12 hours only for eating food from the start. Water is an exception. When you drink water, it is not considered as food. Anything that can give you energy, any calories, that is called as food. Then 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, definitely you have to not only stop eating, but also no bright lights. That is totally a different subject, the bright light effect on your health. And then try to be in the bed at least 8 hours. Yes, when your melatonin or the other hormones, other issues come up, you may wake up, but again, you can fall asleep. If you start working, moving, then all the organs have to be ready. So take rest. But how do you do all these things? Because it is not as if I have said 6 o'clock, stop. It all has to happen with your body's observation by yourself. You have to keenly observe your body. Pay attention, silently, understand, experiment, eat something, and see what happens. Wait for the results. Then keep on improving on it. So observe your body to know when you have to eat. Just as when you have to eat or when to eat is not such a simple topic, observe your body is also not a simple topic. I hope in a future presentations, I will give some information, guidance on how to observe your body. Thank you.